Hey folks, welcome to Let's Talk video. I wasn't actually planning to do this on Sunday, but yesterday I noticed on a YouTube video from Coconut talking about this image you see on the left hand side. It was announced on Dead by Daylight's Twitter page, but this image was released on their Twitter page, and there's 39 perks that are going to be getting adjusted or work done to it, and this is going to be coming up in the next mid-chapter release, which I think will be August, but I'm not certain, maybe the end of July. I have no idea when the next mid-chapter release is, but there's 39 perks in total that are apparently getting adjusted. It was announced in the 6th anniversary, but because of the meta in the game and basically the same old perks that people are using on Survivor and Killer all the time, Behaviour wished to shake up the meta and they wish to try and open up the amount of perks that people are using and what you see as a killer and a survivor. So this is what they announced in the 6th anniversary, and when they first announced it and thinking about it then, I was like, yeah, I'm not too sure that's the right way to go, because to me you have the survivor gameplay and you have the killer gameplay, and if you've seen my videos you'll know that I think the game is heavy survivor sided, and our survivors are working very efficiently together when 10 out of 10 times you're going to lose as a killer. And whether that's if you're playing survivor or killer, that's just the way it is. If you work well with your teammates as a survivor, then you're going to escape 10 out of 10 times, probably. And if you're playing killer, you're going to lose 10 out of 10 times because they work so well together. And this causes a lot of knock-on effect, but basically with killers tunneling camping, there's a lot of things that go on in the game there. But that's beyond the scope of this video. So yeah, these are the 39 perks, and as you can see, I've split them into Survivor and Killer from memory. Some perks I had to look up and see what they did because I didn't actually know what they did. Perks like Soul Survivor and Distortion, for example, I had to make sure what Overcharge and Surge was as well. So there was a few perks. I can't actually remember what No One Left Behind does. But they're perks that I never use, which is kind of the point of putting them on here, because I think some of these perks are going to get buffs and some of these perks are going to get nerfed. That's generally the idea. They're obviously not going to stay the same. They're either getting a buff or a nerf either way. There's going to be one of the two that each of these perks are going to be happening. Now, some of these perks are interesting, but some of the common themes, there's some common things you can notice in this, and Coconut touched on this in the video as well. There's actually a lot of perks related to perk slowdown to generator slowdown, like Ruin is on there, Pain Resonance is on there, Overcharge is on there, Surge is on there, Eruption is on there, Corrupt Intervention, and Tinkerer is related to gens as well. I can't remember what Dark Devotion does right now, but they're on there too. It's interesting you got Corrupt Intervention and Lethal Pursuer on there. Also, if you look over at the Survivor side, there's a lot of healing perks on there as well. You have like Botany Knowledge on there. You have pharmacies related to items, if I remember correctly. I think you get a certain level of item with add-ons attached to it from a chest. There are actually a lot of... you have self-care and botany on there. There's not a lot of health perks on there, but there is related to health as well. I'm a little concerned with out of because as I said, this is the adjusted meta, the go-to perks that people use. And admittedly, three of the perks that I go to are on here. You have Barbecue and Chili, and you have Corrupt Intervention and Killer. They're my two go-to perks on the killer side. On the survivor side, I use Iron Will, and when there's the opportunity, but Iron Will's on there, which I knew that was coming. Basically, I knew Iron Will was going to be adjusted already, because that was one of the ones mentioned on the 6th anniversary broadcast. But this is super interesting because this next update is supremely important to the future of this game. Really supremely important to the future of this game. Behaviour have to get this right, and it's quite a big risk I feel like they're taking on here, because for quite a while Behaviour the numbers were in the red on Steam stats. The numbers were red, but in the last couple of months they have went in green and have been doing quite well. Especially the current month that's going on. Actually, they're doing quite well this month with increasing people. Now maybe that's related to people coming back from playing Elden Ring, because a lot of people did leave to go play Elden Ring, I think, and maybe they're starting to come back. But at the same time, the reason the numbers started to go down, it coincided with skill-based matchmaking getting added to the game and boons being added to the game. Now, boons have been nerfed twice, and you now have the perk Shattered Hope that basically allows killers to basically use a perk, and you can stomp on a totem and snuff it out, and it basically destroys it completely. So there is a counter now for killers to boons. So that would actually, a lot of people who hate wins would actually love that. So that helps with that. Oh, skill-based matchmaking went through a test not long ago, and some things were done. And admittedly, the matches, it doesn't feel too bad right now. I've been playing Trickster a lot this weekend, and it actually doesn't feel too bad. I feel like it's kind of accurate, I would say. I don't really, I don't want to say accurate, and I don't want to say inaccurate, and I don't want to say anything, because I don't see my range still, so I don't really know, but it does feel better when it first came in, especially because in December I took a break for a month because I was just frustrated with the games all the time as a killer. I was so frustrated. And before skill-based matchmaking came in, I used to do well with Nightmare, but since skill-based matchmaking came in, I haven't. I suddenly stopped doing well with Nightmare. So that can have an effect there as well, and then I also had an effect in the game because the numbers went down. But there has been work done there, and the behaviour have shown that they're listening to the player base, and I think that plus Shattered Hope is helping to get people back into the game. This here is super interesting too, because when they first announced this, and I was thinking about it, I was thinking to myself, yeah, I don't think this is going to work there, because the whole point was to change the meta and change people's minds on what perks to use and open up the range of perks that they would use. But people are just wired to sell meta. Like for me, for example, I use Iron Will and Windows the Opportunity because I main Bill. And Bill's really loud when I'm injured, and I know from playing Killer that I can track people when they're injured, but from the sounds, the grunts, pain that they make, and Bill is one of the loudest, so I know where Bill is generally all the time. So since I main Bill, I know that. So I use Iron Will to take that advantage away from the killer. And I use Windows as an opportunity because I have a really poor memory and I don't remember the maps as well as other people. And I have a photographic memory, and Windows helps me sometimes. I still get caught out of position there because it takes a little while for it to trigger in and kick in, like, but it does. It helps me basically to do some really good looping at times, and sometimes it doesn't kind of work out because I'm not quite in the right position to take the right angle, and that's because my memory didn't remember quick enough for me to take the loop at the right way, basically. For example, what I mean, if you're taking like a window, you want to take the window straight on and not side on. So if you're at shack, you want to loop inside so you can take loop the shack in a way where you can take the window straight on, and not loop it in reverse where you have to actually go out and kind of cut back on yourself to the window, if you understand what I mean at all. Yeah, so that's why I use Windows and Iron Will. So when they first announced this, I thought to myself, I'm probably still going to use Iron Will in Windows. And I thought to myself, well, I'm still going to use Corrupt Intervention and Barbecue and Chili, because I couldn't see them nerfing the perks to a point where they'd just be completely useless. There would still be a value in them, and Iron Will would still help Bill with the Grunts of Pain, who's really loud, and other characters like Bill as well. I still felt like Barbecue and Chili would still give me blood points, and I would still see people from a distance and stuff like that. I was worried that maybe they would make Barbecue and Chili a Scourge Hook perk. And I felt Corrupt Intervention, there's no way they're going to nerf that to a point where it would be completely useless. But I think I misunderstood what was actually going to happen. I think they're actually going to be changing the foundation of the game, and I think they're going to be chasing the base kit of the game. Back at the frequent answers and questions back in, was it February or March? I can't remember when it was now, but there was the question on if Borrow Time and Decisive Strike was going to become base kit. The answer Patrick gave was, I can guarantee you Decisive Strike will not become base kit. When pushed on Borrow Time, he answered the exact same thing. So that always stuck in people's mind. I've posted on a Let's Talk video saying that borrow time should become base kit and why it should. And it seems very much like borrow time is going to become base kit. So that's possibly why the perks are going to be getting changed. But at the same time, you look through here, and if the same thing's going to be happening with corrupt intervention as well, you see lethal pursuers getting changed as well. Is that going to become base kit? Is something like decisive strike actually going to become base kit as well? What else here is going to become base kit? It's going to be super interesting to see how this is all changing up here, because I think some of these perks might become base kit, and that's why they're going to be getting changed. Some of these perks are probably going to get nerfed, like I think Dead Hard will be. I think Barbecue and Chili might become a Scottish Hook perk, and I think the blood points are probably going to get removed as well. Hopefully not for, but there's a chance. Coconut, I'll have the credit of that. Well, he was the one that said that the blood points might go into Barbecue and Chili. Also, I think We're Going to Live Forever has he mentioned blood points related to it as well, so that could be there, but it's super interesting how this is going to play out. I'm happy to see Saboteur in there because I friggin' hate that perk. That perk should not be in the game. It really hurts a survivor. But I am curious about something. Overzealous is a new perk. It just came in with Haddy, which for the present moment I can't actually remember what that does. So let's load up for me. I did have a look earlier. I forgot again what it is. Okay, what is it? Overzealous right here. This is a perk fighting back against the house. Inspires you have to cleanse your eyes. That one. See, that's related to gens as well. There's a lot related to gens in here, especially on the killer side. So look at their Tinkerer, Corrupt Intervention, Eruption, Surge. I find it odd that Monster's Shrine is on there. Because Monster's Shrine, that's the perk where it does something with basement hooks. I can't remember what's from my head right now. Noed is on there as well. I think this list is accurate with Survivor and Killer with the perks, by the way. I sorted that out from a list that someone posted on the forum. Basically, I went through and sorted that out because I was curious to see the numbers. There is more Survivor and Killer picks, but there's only 5 more. But it's still noticeable that it's actually more Survivor perks than Killer perks. But Overzealous was just added recently, and literally on 12 days ago, it was just added to the game. And that's already going to get changed as well, and that's related to there. It's Haddy's perk, so it's super interesting. I think some of the perks like Soul Survivor, Pharmacy, No One Left Behind, Distortion, these perks I would never use. I would never use Monster's Shrine. Can't even remember what that is. Surgeon Overcharge I wouldn't really use either. Dark Devotion, I don't remember that at all. Colorophobia is something I would never use as well. Can't even remember what they am, but that's probably the reason why. It's interesting to me that Tenacity is on there as well, talking about base kit. I think Tenacity might become base kit. Hope is on there, and that's an endgame perk. Apparently for 2 minutes you get a speed boost, if I remember correctly. Dark Sense is interesting too, because that's an aura perk. Whenever a generator pops, you see the aura, the killer for a while. But you have Dark Sense on there, but you don't have Alert on there, which is another reading perk whenever a killer breaks a pallet, so super interesting. But I think I misunderstood what this was going to be. I think there's actually going to be some of these things becoming base kit, which means my excitement level for this next chapter update is actually increased a lot, because if you've seen me playing killer, I'm getting frustrated, because I feel like what I'm about to say is a good tagline to describe Dead by Daylight right now, but it's not a tagline behaviour you would want to use. It's too boring as a survivor and too frustrating as a killer. I just feel like Survivor's just too easy to play right now, and Killer's just too frustrating. So the base kit of this game really needs a shake up, and I was actually thinking about posting a Let's Talk video about it, but I posted it on the forum instead, and I didn't get any replies at all. But I feel like this is actually the shake up to the foundation. I think they're changing the base kit of the game, the foundation of the game and how it works. But I don't know if they're going to get it right. I don't know exactly with behaviour, you just don't know how it's going to go. But the next update is super, super, super important. If they get it wrong, I think they can kill the game. If they get it right, because I've actually been thinking for a while is Dead by Daylight at Dev's Store, because it's a 6-year-old game. It's hard to keep a game relevant for let alone for 6 years. Never mind just for longer than 6 years. It's actually hard to keep it relevant for about 5 years, really. So I think this is huge. Lightweight's on there too, which is a bit of a no choice. Lucky Break. I can't remember that perk right now, but I know some people like it. I never actually liked it myself. Off the record, I can't remember what that is as well, which probably explains. I feel like some of the perks that I don't remember might be getting a buff, I would say. The ones I don't remember are probably going to get a buff. The more popular ones like Decisive Strike and Dead Hard. I'm concerned Decisive Strike is going to become a base kit, because on Coconut's video he pointed out there's a developer or someone who worked for Behaviour was asked somewhere, I don't know where it was, about the changes and stuff like that, and he said, and the answer to the question that he was asked, he mentioned there will be some baseline stuff as well. So putting that together with this year, Coconut thinks some of these things are going to become base kit, and putting it with what Patrick said and FAQ, and I agree. I think, yeah, there's going to be some of these things that are going to become base kit. But I'm curious, because if Corrupt Intervention is going to become base kit, does that mean Lethal Pursuer will become base kit as well? And Tenacity is going to become base kit. We know Borrow Time and Decisive Strike's not becoming base kit, because that's what Patrick alluded to, unless that's changed and both Borrow Time and Decisive Strike is going to become base kit, which wouldn't be a problem for me, because I don't go for the person who's coming off the hook. You've seen that in my killer play, I tend to go for the, unless it's endgame, then that's the only time I do it. And that's my concern about this here, is if Borrow Time and Decisive Strike was become base kit, it needs to be disabled in endgame, because endgame the only play a killer really has is the actual Camp the Hook, unless they're doing changing something there. Well, I'm surprised Camp Spirit's on there as well. Camp Spirit stops the crows freaking out. Actually, Camp Spirit and Iron Will is the reason why I recommend Jake Park as the first survivor to start with. Yeah, along with Spine Chill and Kindred is the 4 picks I would start with if I could go back. Anyway, that's my thoughts on this. If you enjoyed this video, YouTube, then please like the video. Like I say future content, then please subscribe for future content. And until next time, y'all take care.